Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. Not feeling that great today, but don't feel sorry for me. It's okay. I'll be all right. Anyway, I've been talking about signs, and you guys know I do this practically every show. I tell you there are things that you can look for, and they're deeper. They have deeper meaning than what you may believe. And one such sign was the Oscars. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I predicted this in advance. Now, again, I'm not Nostradamus. I'm no psychic or anything, but maybe I'm developing those qualities. But I predicted what I'm about to tell you. I predicted that the Oscars would finish, it would be a horrible Oscars from a ratings perspective. Now, you may be saying, Kevin, how could you go out on a limb and know that? I mean, people love Hollywood. They love the stars. They love the glitz and the glamour of it all and everything else. Yes, I know this. And yet, I still made the prediction that the ratings would be bad. The ratings would be terrible. Now, let me explain. Because, see, I've walked you through this many times. It has nothing to do with the Oscars per se. People are still intrigued by the stars. They're still intrigued by Hollywood. We've got all that fascination. It's still there. When Hollywood does its job, it inspires you. It triggers your imagination into different things, and that's what it's supposed to do. But see, I look at everything around Hollywood. I look at what Hollywood's become. Hollywood left entertainment a long time ago and became political. And when it became political, it now suffers from the very problem that the Democrats suffer from. And by the way, I want you to understand what you're witnessing right now in Hollywood is what you're going to witness in November of this year. See, the left doesn't want to admit that, but that's what's going to happen. Here's what I read. It was an Oscar do-over last night for host Jimmy Kimmel, producers Mike DeLuca and Jennifer Todd, and Best Picture presenters Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway. Following last year's Envelope Gate, which led to Beatty and Dunaway's inadvertently announcing a wrong Best Picture, the quartet's second go-round went without a hitch. Then they go on to talk about the Oscars itself. And I'm going to tell you something. Nobody is more happy to give you the news I'm about to give you, and you've probably heard about it, that the Oscars numbers were bad. But nobody's happier. And even though I'm going to be late probably getting you this news, we're going to have some fun with this. This article goes on to say, but the good news did not carry over to ratings for the 90th Academy Awards, which crowned The Shape of Water as Best Picture. Last night's ceremony, which aired live from 8 p.m. to 11:54 p.m., so from 8 to midnight, averaged 26.5 million viewers live and same day. That was down 19% from last year's 32.9 million viewers rather. Maybe it was 32.9. A 9-year low. Now, here's what I want to tell you is I'm just telling you, this is, if you look at this just in and of itself, you say, well, Kevin, Hollywood's been slipping. And in fact, one of the articles the titles to an article was Oscars numbers are low like the TV numbers. Like they were rationalizing it. Well, the Oscars are low, but the ratings have been low for TV too. Let me tell you what happened. Jimmy Kimmel, who's been Mr. Political, he used to just be a funny guy. He's been Mr. Political. They touted him again. I don't know why. Probably in hopes that Kimmel, the whole thing that he's been doing, anti-Trump and anti-conservatives, etc., was going to, they would be able to prove that he's not, as bad as we think. Jimmy Kimmel got pummeled, and so did Hollywood. The only other thing they could have done is they could have brought up Colin Kaepernick, which, by the way, has anybody heard anything about Colin? No, you haven't. Jimmy Kimmel, what conservatives did is we said to both Hollywood and Jimmy Kimmel, the leftist establishment, the DNC, Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, the Democrats, the progressives, whatever you want to call them, we don't need you. Now I'm talking about something that's fascinating. All of us love Hollywood. If somebody said to you, Kevin, you can sit down with, some of these Hollywood types and just have meaningful conversations, give me your list. Well, I'd like to have Denzel. Let's speak to Denzel, and maybe you could bring Michelle Pfeiffer, that white gold. You get what I'm saying? There's somebody you would go, or The Rock. You'd want to sit down with The Rock, right? Or you want to sit down with. There'd be people that you'd want. That's the way it is. That's what happens with stardom. I was at a grocery store the other day, and a lady saw me and said Kevin Jackson, and put her hands up onto her face and disappeared into the aisle. She was so smitten, or whatever. And I'm a nobody. So can you imagine if The Rock had walked through the same location? People want, oh my gosh, you want autographs and things like that. Let me tell you something. Hollywood, Jimmy Kimmel, the DNC, all of them, they are killing your natural instinct to want to do that. And that's what's bad for them. See, that's the guttural thing that we used to not care about. We wouldn't care about a person's politics. You didn't even know their politics for the most part. You'd run up and, oh my gosh, it's so-and-so. You're a star. I've seen you. I love your film. Or, you were really good in this, or just whatever. You want to get a selfie, a picture, whatever. Psst, man, I see these putzes. I don't even give them the time of day. I've been at, I can't tell you how many events I've been to. I'll see one of these, they're A-list actors or actresses, and I have zero want to spend any time with them. Matt Damon if he invited me to dinner, I wouldn't go. George Clooney and others, I wouldn't go. For what? Anyway, they say despite the fact that The Shape of Water was the highest grossing Best Picture winner in 5 years, the Oscar ratings doom and gloom was foreshadowed by the first numbers to come in this morning. Now, this is way after the Oscars that we're talking about this. I want the audience to be clear that I'm reading an article that came the very next day. Now, I told you guys, when I got on Twitter, they had this live stream of the Oscars, and I shut it down. And it was funny. I heard many other people say the same thing. Oh, I saw it was the Oscars, and I shut it down. We are targeting them. There would have been a time where I would have left that up and I would have watched it for a little bit. I would have watched the red carpet. I watched none of it. I couldn't tell you what gown was worn, hairstyle, who looked pretty, who looked ugly, nothing. I followed none of it. And I'm going to tell you, I believe the overwhelming majority of you did identically the same thing. Now, why am I talking about this so much? This is not about just blasting Hollywood. Hollywood hasn't been in our favor for the better part of 2 decades, maybe longer. And we've endured it. So what's going on? Why is this a big deal? It is a big deal because this is the bellwether of everything that we've talked about. This is as good as it gets for the left. This is DC on steroids, the glitziest of the DC. This is an extension of the leftist ideology on being showcased. And what you're watching, folks, is you are watching the decline of the Democrats. So let me give you some numbers. In 2001, 42.9 million people watched the Oscars. I want to let me just go through these real quick. Stayed the same in 2002. It dropped to 33 million in 2003, but it was 43.5 million in 2004 and stayed in that range. 2008, the Oscars dropped to 32 million. 2009, this is the time of Obama, 36.3 million, 41.3 million, 37, held firm to 2014. By 2015, it started the decline. Now, let me tell you why that's significant. It started the decline and went from 43.7 million to 37.3 million in 2015, and it's been declining ever since. 34.4 million, 32.2 million in 2017, and then 26.5 million, the lowest in a long time. Now, I'm not looking at percentages and whatever else, but let me tell you this. To drop from 43.7 million in 2014 and now down to 26.5 million is an exact indicator of Barack Obama's presidency, liberalism sliding down. Think about all that happened during that period. The Democrats lost over 1,000 seats and on and on and on. That's what you're watching. Forget Hollywood. The numbers don't matter. It's you. You saying, nope, I don't care about you. And by the way, These numbers have been dropping as well at the box office. The numbers are going down. This is horrible news for the left. 26.5 million. In 2017, they did almost 33 million. That is they call it a 19% drop. I don't know, but they say the drop is big. The Oscars have never fallen below 32 million viewers and 21 in metered markets. And it's 26.5 viewers. And keep in mind, folks, that's with all the technology they now have to get the Oscars to everybody. They couldn't do 32 million, which is the low bar that's been for that. If you don't understand how significant this is for these people, I hope I've helped you to. They are reeling.
Kevin Jackson
on the Black Sphere Radio Network.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS or state? The secret to avoiding the IRS nightmare is to seek professional representation. My friends at Security Tax Associates provide the most cost-effective and ethical representation in the industry while helping to avoid seizures, levies, and wage garnishments. Security Tax Associates is here to ensure that the appropriate steps are taken to permanently eliminate any possibility of future tax burdens once and for all. For a free, no-obligation consultation, contact Security Tax Associates, 844-779-4177. That's 844-779-4177. 844-779-4177. Or visit them at securitytaxassociates.com.